More appreciate so much. Appreciate so much you getting everybody clued in and the music and managing the controls. I have a status to where I can run the PowerPoint. I appreciate all of that. I love having people who know how to do these things because otherwise, I left to my own devices, I mess it up. But we are very excited today about, for many of us, a friend that has been a dear friend for many, many years. Many of you remember her name. You remember her journey. Well, her journey has continued, and she has continued to grow and learn and develop. And we are so excited to have Kristi Malia Nelson with us this morning. Kristi, are you there?
I am, Todd. Can you hear me loud and
Oh,
clear?
there we go. Yes, you look amazing. You
Oh,
sound
thanks.
wonderful. We are so glad of you taking the time to be with us this morning. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. It's a pleasure and a blessing to be with you this morning, and I'm just super excited to get to share.
Well, thank you. So many of you remember that Kristi was one of our stars in coaching and guiding, and she went on a health journey herself. But she really made waves when she started helping so many other people making improvements in their health as well. And we have stayed in contact over the few years that we weren't running Wakaya Perfection anymore, and so she has continued to work really hard. Those of you who know her and are friends with her on Facebook, you've watched some of the journey, but we are excited today to have you, Kristi. We're excited to have you recount this whole journey of what you've been through, and to kind of share with us how that has led from your journey to now a journey for so many others. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here because you sent over a few slides that we can use. Let me. All right, Kristi, is that looking right?
It does.
Okay, good. So again, today's webinar is sponsored by Top Shelf Nutra, and we are so excited to have Kristi Malia Nelson with us today, our expert to explain to us how taking your life by your hands, being in charge, being intentional, and making choices in a lot of ways, Kristi, right? I mean, it's diet, it's nutrition, it's health, it's exercise, it's mental, it's emotional. And we are very, very much excited to hear what you have to share. Now, I can run these slides for you when you want me to switch the slides, but I would love to just pass it to you, a dear friend, someone I look up to, and someone who I've admired because your heart is so big. I've never, ever, ever seen or heard of anyone saying that Kristi didn't take time for me, and I just love how you serve from your heart, and that the people around you are brothers and sisters. So with that, Kristi, I'm going to kind of pass it to you. I might jump in with a question here or there, but we really want to hear from you.
I love that. Thank you, Todd. Well, I think surrounding yourself with the right people makes a huge difference, right? And so you have been a huge part of that in mentoring me, not only in how I am with people, but the information that I share and how I'm able to deliver it so that people can understand it and then internalize that and equate that into their own lives and then take not only the knowledge and the understanding, but execute because I know and we know that nothing changes if nothing changes. And so if you'll advance to the next slide for me. There is a little bit about me, right? I am now a master trainer. I started this journey as a simple person who had a friend that was indulging in the program that you had provided and said, I need one more person to do this with me, and I'm always willing to help. So I said, okay, I'll do it. But I figured it wasn't going to work for me because I had tried a lot of different things and I'd always gotten some results, but then ended up in the same condition or worse condition after I'd stopped their program products or being around their people. This was the first time where I leaned into the program, the system, and the people that were involved in it and got results. And so in a 90-day period, I was able to release 40 pounds of fat through, from my body. And then people started paying attention to that, right? And I had never been able to do that before. And then all of a sudden, people were asking me for advice and for help. And I really turned that into a coaching situation. And at the end of the day, was able to coach a lot of people in your community and in our community, right? Became our community. And not just providing guidelines, but then actually seeing them really get results. And from there, that turned into something more for me as far as profession. I have been blessed to be able to take passion and turn it into profession. And now I'm a master trainer. You can see the list of my credentials there. I'm a certified personal trainer, a nutritionist. I work in the corrective exercise space so that I can help find dysfunction and then isolate it and integrate it back into compound movements, which is what we have to do every day. Being a glute specialist helps me in that space. But on a personal side, going through my own health journey, not only did I go from 233 pounds down that 40 pounds, but I stayed in that space and continued to a place where I got to about 150 pounds. But I needed a coach. COVID left me in a dire situation where I actually had a stroke, and I could not do the things that I had been doing in my professional space the same way and with the same kind of integrity as I had before. And so I had to be masterful in how to reposition myself in my professional life so that I could continue to thrive and have a good life. And so now, my story has changed and I've journeyed into a new city. I'm working in a club. I have 50 clients that I love and that are dear to me. I see many of their names and their faces on the Zoom, and I'm so excited and proud of the progress that they've made. And the one thing that we talk about in our space is nutrition and supplementation and fortification and pillars of health. And here we are with Top Shelf Nutra now to give us the support that I've been talking about and that I use personally to travel through my journey. So when I had the stroke, after that, I went and found a coach. Coaches need coaches. My coach happened to be a competitive bodybuilder. Now, I was 49 years old when I had that conversation with her, and she said, "Have you ever considered this?" And I thought, this girl did not read the paper. She did not see how old I was. She did not understand that was not why I was here. But the more I thought about it, taught the other 50-year-olds I know, I lap them every day because I stay in my health regimen, right? I stayed consistent in putting just sometimes baby steps, but consistently putting one foot in front of the other to travel towards the progress. And so I thought about it. I spent a year mentoring with her, being an assistant coach on a traveling competitive team. And then a week after my 50th birthday, I stepped on the stage at 101 pounds down, and you can advance the slide to see me in a situation where I picked up a fifth place title in the state of Colorado for competitive bodybuilding in a wellness category. And so I think my story says no matter what it is you want, the day that you make the decision to make the change, as long as you stay in the game and you keep making those strides towards the goal, you will get there no matter what it is. Whether it's recumbing your body or reversing your health or healing your gut so that you can absorb nutrients and that you can have what the body needs. Or it's learning new things, right? One of the other pleasures I have now with certifications is working with aging population. So that 65 or plus, it's a program called Silver Sneakers, but I call them my golden oldies. I love them, my goldies. And we have made amazing changes. But you know what? When I didn't have access to these products in the coaching space, it was still ginger, turmeric, muscadine. Most people didn't know what that was because I'm in Colorado. So I had to explain that. And I had to explain that the superiority of the integrity behind the antioxidant factor of the muscadine versus eating handfuls of blueberries or goji, noni, acai, those other things that people are really familiar with. So I have been creating a list of single ingredient, natural culinary grade things that we should incorporate into our diets so that we can fortify food to deliver essential nutrition. The next slide will show you a little bit about my coaching model. And so when I'm talking to people about health, this is not just one thing. In the personal training space, this is not just about the movement. It's not about the number of squats that you do. It's how we approach the full pillar of health, right? There are 6 pillars of health, and that's where I like to coach. And it starts with mindset because the last slide said nothing is stronger than a made up mind. And that's true. Once you are committed and you are convinced, enthusiasm shows up, right? IASM, I am sold myself. And it's not about sales, it's about finding solutions and then being committed to that so that I really buy into the program and I'm willing to lean in to the work, the words that are said to me and the products that are shown to me and the system that I'm supposed to follow to get the results that I'm asking for. So you can see that that's not a huge long list, but it's how do we master one pillar and then stack in a new one so that we're stacking habits until it becomes that lifestyle. It's a cycle. It's not linear, right? A diet is linear. It has a start and a stop. And if we don't hit the weight loss number, we connotate failure. But this is a system where we know where we're supposed to be. We set up that daily method of operation, just like we do in our business, and then we can circle back to it. And at 2 o'clock, if I'm out in left field, I know where I'm supposed to be, and I can either head there or I can make a decision that today I need some grace and tomorrow I'm going to nail it, right? So that's what I use as far as how to guide folks through coming into a space of health. Fortified nutrition is important, and that's where Top Shelf Nutri comes in. You've got all of the things that I think we need to be able to supplement and fortify nutrition. We've talked about it, and you have put out tons of information about how the food that we eat today just doesn't have what we need like it did 5 or 10 years ago. And that the one simple way to be able to do that is to use products of integrity, like the ones that you offer here, to fortify and combine with food so that essential nutrition is delivered to the body and that those systems are in good shape for accepting and receiving the things that we're offering to them. And that then it has time to process and get rid of the things that we don't need. And you have great things for that. A couple of products like the detox tea, the ginger, turmeric, and muscadine, the combination, that GTM, it does so much for the gut as far as repair and preparation for great absorption so that the body can get what it needs. You've got recovery products like Sport and Go, and these are things that I know because I've used them myself and I continue to use them now. So there I can stand in a space of tested, true, tried and believed in that you should integrate these things into the things that you're doing on your daily to get maximum results and the best life you can have, right? Movement is certainly important also. And if you don't know where to start in that space, that's where someone like me can be really valuable, right? Not every personal trainer is going to have the credentials that I have so that they can help you first full circle. But knowing about movement and being able to do the core basic movements is super important. And now I think the one thing we learned through COVID is that we don't have to go to a gym necessarily to do that. If you don't have access to that at your fingertips, or that is not something that is close to you and accessible, then find an online coach with me and work with me to create those programs. Jump onto a Zoom with me like this once a week to go through those guided movements and then practice those again on your own 2 or 3 times in the week. So now you've got a full system of support, right? Recovery is super important. It's not just about the hours that you sleep, but it's also about, how do I set aside time for rest? And what does boredom look like? How often are you bored? Maybe that's a new thing, or meditation, or maybe even red light therapy or massage. How do those things integrate into your life? And if they don't, if they sound foreign, maybe those are conversations you need to know and information that you should gather so that you could see how they might benefit what you're already doing, right? Connection is huge, and it's all about community. And I think that's one of the things that you have mastered is creating a community where people can come into a space that's really private and intimate and learn about how to fortify their body, how to make change, how to have a community that supports and holds you accountable to the things that you say you want. And it's huge. I have that group of people that I talked about, my Silver Sneakers group, and we do a fitness class 2 times a week. But those ladies and those folks that attend there have created something really, really special. And last week I got to attend a luncheon at one of their homes where 6 of us got together. And so community is so important. Science says we'll do more for a team of people than we will for ourselves individually. And I have seen that from years and years and years of experience. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Todd, do you have any questions for me so far? I know I'm just kind of taking over, but I think that
I
it's
love
important to.
this information, Kristi, because This is this is empowering people to understand what a true change is. It's wonderful for somebody to say, "Hey, I'm going to clean up my diet," or "Hey, I'm going to add some of these powerful ingredients and nutrients and products to my program." Or somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to start exercising." These are all great decisions, but when they are coupled with all of the things you're talking about, these pillars, they become so much more powerful and a lot easier to maintain. I mean, having a connection in a community helps us do better on the days that are harder, right? Having a
Absolutely.
trainer, having someone like you that can help guide us through the right mindset, and give us the information, the encouragement, the training, all of these things. So I agree with everything you're saying, and I'm so grateful that you're available to share this with our top shelf family.
Thank you so much for having me. No, I think it's so important. I think, like I said, this is the plan for longevity, right? This is how we create a lifestyle that has the longevity plan for graceful aging. Because the one thing all of us have in our future is aging. And how do we approach that so that we're not complacent and we just raise our hand and go, you know what? I just can't do those things anymore, because I am here to tell you that that is not the case. As long as you have blood flow to your bone and muscles, we can recomp those things. And in the corrective exercise space, there's this little saying that I live by, and it's not practice makes perfect, but it's perfect practice makes perfect. So if you're doing squats and you're doing them in improper form, or you're doing them, in a space where we're putting ourselves at risk for injury or falls, or heaven forbid, surgery and the rest of that, then we've got problems, right? We're creating a greater space for detriment than we are for improvement. And so knowing how to do those things, or working with someone that's professional that can say, you know what, shift this a little bit, or go a little bit wider with your feet and angle your toes out, right? Just to correct that and to have that set of eyes that knows how to do that. Because the most important thing, and my goal for all of us at the age of 65 or older, is to be able to get down on the floor and get back up, to be able to pick a child up and hug it, to be able to put your luggage in overhead so that you can continue to travel and to go up and down stairs, because those things aren't going to change for us. But when I can help you in that space, when I can show you a method that's simple that you could do right in your front room, I think there's some great value in that. And I know on the other side of that, some of us are contending with things that we've been dealing with for a while due to inflammation, and that causes, a lack of mobility and lack of stability. So then there's less motivation and less willingness to try to move or to try to exercise, because we feel so limited. So in that space, we're going to break it down. We're going to isolate what's wrong, rebuild that, and integrate it back into compound movement so that you can continue to do those things like sit down or bend over or put things up on a shelf, pick the plates up off of the shelf to be able to set the table for Thanksgiving. Those things are super important. Not just how you do, a competition like I did, but how do I do those daily living things so that I can continue to do what I want to? I can travel to my family's house for holidays, especially in, temperate weathers where I'm a little bit more cautious. And we've seen that. We've seen that 100 times over with the people that we know. I think most of us are pretty familiar with Susan too. And, she even had a knee replacement surgery. So coming from a place where we're in preparation for something like that to full recovery, where we're able to change people's lives and get back to work or get back to doing the fun things that we like to, or just spending time with our loved ones and walking and doing fun things, those things are huge. And you notice that that tile didn't say change your whole life. It said behavior change, and it's simple modifications, like I was saying. So it's simple adjustments that we can make. And then once those things are in momentum, then it becomes easier and easier to lean into that. Especially in the first 30 days, if I lean into a program or a system or new products and I get results, man, I'm a lot more motivated to keep doing that, right? I did set up something so that if you're looking for some assistance or for some support or guidance or just some community, go ahead and switch that next style. I've
Yeah, I'm
created an
sorry,
online
I
community.
hit that a
Oh,
little early because I was
that's
trying to
okay.
mute myself, but I wanted to point out you pushed a few buttons for me there, Kristi, with
Good.
being able to get on the floor and play with grandchildren, being able to pick up a baby, right? Being able to do things like traveling and being with family and things that maybe we might feel like we're unable to do or we're scared to do because
Yes.
what if I slip? What if I trip? What if I love the fact that you are bringing this down to real world, real life experience, and love the fact that you are helping so many in that area. So anyway, didn't mean to interrupt, but
No.
those are powerful emotional moments. And now that I'm a grandfather, they mean a lot to me as well. I want to be on the floor. I only have one, but I know there's more coming.
That's right. And you have a long life ahead of you with them, right, Todd? And I think that's so exciting. I just learned that you became a grandpa, and it gives me goosebumps to think about that because I have seen that look in your eye when you're looking at someone like they're your favorite daughter or they're your grandchild. And so I just know how much love you have to share with them. And that's super exciting. But that is where I come from, right? I want you to have that space. I want you to be able to do those things. It's not about how heavy can you lift in the gym. It's how can you keep staying in the game for a real long time? Because we have a lot of life to live. And I've known myself that utilizing the things that you have brought to the marketplace have helped me change how I feel and how I approach this, and the knowledge and the acceptance that I do have a whole lot of life left to live. I'm 51 years old now. Not many people would guess that when they first look at me. And that's okay if you did. I'm not upset about it. I earned every single minute of it. But I plan to do this for a real long time. This is my retirement plan. This is my way that I get to stay with people that I love and enjoy to help them change their lives or improve their lives so they get to do the things that they love to do. And I've got to meet some awesome people along the way. You never know who's going to come into your space. And so I just have opened myself up to accepting and to receiving and being available for those that are open to doing the same and reciprocating and then executing so that they can see that happen for themselves. You've got up there well, the website that I've created, the company that I'm creating is called the Blue Zone. If you know anything about blue zones, those are the places in the world, there's 5 of them, where people live to be 100 years or older. And they've got some amazing lifestyle practices that I think are really important. And so maybe I can't create one in Colorado, but if I do this online, maybe I can pull into the space of, virtual space of living an online community where we create a blue zone, where we have folks that come together in this one space and we live to a great golden age and we do life really well and vibrantly, just like those other people in the blue zones. So there's my info. That's the website. Right now, it's in construction. I've got a couple of things to finalize, but I've been so busy in the online or in the face-to-face space that this is new for me. So I'm venturing out and I'm expanding my horizons, and that's how you can reach me. The next one there, you'll see the next tile is all of my information. So that's my cell phone number. You've got full access. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me through there or even Facebook, zonecoachkristi@gmail.com. And then again, my website. And I am so excited about the opportunity to just have conversations with you, right? This isn't about selling services. This is about talking about solutions, offering really valuable tips and programs and, things that you might need to support you and to keep you accountable in the space to getting you to where you want to be. There's where we are right now, and then there's where we want to be. And my job as a coach is to help guide you there. I get to be the tour guide on the journey from where we are now to that pleasure island. And that's what I'm really excited about. And so please, if you think that there's anything that I could do to help you in your health space or in your wellness journey, please don't hesitate to reach out. Know that I'm available. I'm part of the community. I'm not going anywhere. I order these products too. I have the Java in my cup right now. And I love that so much. I have missed them. So I'm excited to have them back. You know that I love that oil from the top of my head to the bottom of my toes, inside and out. So get back to the person that invited you to this informational Zoom today and ask them what you need to do to get involved in this community and to raise your hand and say, I'm next, because there is a good life waiting for you and you can have it if you choose to. You either choose it or you don't choose it, but both are a choice. And so that's my invitation. That's my message. If you're one of my guests, thank you for being here today. And certainly let's have those conversations, because we've been having conversations, but let's continue it, because now at our fingertips, we've got this, we've got what we need. And those things that I've been talking about and talking about, you now can access. So I'm really super excited. Todd, thank you for having me. Is there anything else that you have for me or questions that you might have?
There is and there are. Thank you, Kristi. This has been
Yeah.
wonderful. And before you go, I just want to talk about a couple of things here, because here at Top Shelf Nutra, we have trained people on how to identify what category their illness or their struggle is in. And as you can see, that daily health pack, that takes care of 95% of the stuff out there. But there are times where we have other needs and or just desires, right? We want to be supported in certain areas. And so
Yeah.
as you're well aware, we train on these four categories, and I'm showing them kind of in colors there. But if you're struggling with something that has to do with blood sugar and weight loss, that puts you in that red category, right? Like you said,
Mm.
that Java Boost coffee is helpful for balancing blood sugar and giving you healthy, balanced energy rather than spikes and caves. And so the blue is to support our healthy structural system, hard tissue, so skeleton and muscular system. The green to help with digestion and immunity, and the yellow to help with skin and all the soft tissue, so like our eyes, our brain, our nervous system. So these are just kind of a backbone to all the things that you're talking about. And so I just wanted one of the questions I wanted to ask is, what of these types of things? You mentioned ginger, you mentioned turmeric, you mentioned muscadine. So what is the thing that you or things you love on this little layout of the products, and how do you implement them?
Dad, I'm gonna be honest. I've had every single one of those products in my cupboard. Uh, I'll tell you how I've used them in different situations. The Vital Shake, Java Boost, and ATP. Not only did I use those products for my weight loss, but when I was through my competition phases, when I went through my cut to get myself stage ready, I went back to those products to help me with that cutting out the body fat. And so I know that they're set up to support my system. I know that they're perfect balance. And so all I got to do is add that water and get them into my system, and then they're going to do some work. That ATP control or balance for me was something that helped with appetite, it helped with support, and it doesn't give me that jittery weird feeling, and when I pull off of it, I don't feel a desire to need it. So that's how I use red. Turmeric bone and joint and relax recovery. So turmeric for the inside, bone and joint actually for, that being able to stay mobile and creating the synovial fluid and keeping it supported that I need in my joints for movement. All of it is great. Tea tree, ginger, lax, detox, muscadine, great for detoxification. Everything I do needs detox, right? From my breathing to my skin to my system, my internal system. And so utilizing the high vibrational tea tree oil, right? Implementing the ginger, utilizing the detox tea for that daily gentle detox. But lax is there if I get to a problem where I'm feeling like I need some help. And then muscadine just boosts everything. So I love all of that in the green too. Muscadine seed oil, you just heard me talk about it from the inside to the outside, top to the bottom. I could tell you a million great things about it, from skin benefits and what it does for the mitochondria of our cells, to the inside and the tocotrienols and the great healthy fats that are on that side. The Delo cream, amazing for the skin repair, collagen and elastin, all of those things that the Delo cream does for us. And literally, I don't have to have 23 things on my counter. I have to have Delo cream and muscadine oil, and I'm good to go with skin. EFA reds, those reds are so important. That's what makes salmon red and pink, right? We need those reds in the body to help support the vascular system. So every single thing on the list, not one thing I wouldn't tell you. What we have to do is fine tune it, right? We got to talk about what's important for you and what your goals are, and where do we integrate those products and those packs that you've created into lifestyle so that they have the supplement that they need or the support that they need without the thinking, right? The best thing I love about the Vital Shake is I get up, I pour water into it, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to add this and that and a scoop of that, and some more of that, and blend up this and crush that. it's there. I add water. I put it in my system. My cells enjoy it. I go on with my day.
Wow, that was a wonderful summary. Well, Kristi, thank you so much. You've been very generous. We will have you back if you ever have time to do it
Awesome.
again. We so much appreciate
Absolutely.
you. And again, let me go back here so that whoops, I went too far. There. So everyone has your contact details. We appreciate you being so generous this morning. And I know that if people reach out to you, they're just going to find that you're all heart, because that's what I found. And appreciate your willingness to share information and to help us all as the amazing, we're going to call you a top shelf Nutra expert and coach, if that's all
I
right.
love that.
Kristi,
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. And thanks to everyone for being with us. Let me stop this share so that you can see everybody. And everybody wish your gratitude and love to our expert, Kristi Nelson.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Kristi.
So much.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
I'm
Great-
so happy to
Thank
see
you.
you all. Thank you
Great
for having me
information.
today.
Loved it.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kristi.
Kristi.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Steve.
That was great, Kristi.